couple of days removed, what do you feel like was the biggest one or two things that separated you guys from Oklahoma State?
I think just the fourth and a foot there that we fumbled the snap going in, and then the other interception in the red zone there. It was kind of going back and forth at that point, and we stumbled and they didn't.
Do you think that having the lead going into halftime gave your players some sort of sense of security and they came out differently?
I don't think so. I think you got to give credit to Oklahoma State. That's a team that's come back from some deficits. They've won a bunch of games, and that wasn't a new situation to them, and they came back and adjusted and played at a higher level.
In the second half, it really seemed like Ian Sadler really came on pretty strong. So what do you think about where he's at? Is he a guy that can kind of develop into it, or is developing into a go-to guy for y'all, you think, on third down and things like that?
I think so. Him and Pat have a great rapport, and he seems to get open when Pat starts moving around. But Ian, I thought the Oklahoma game was a little slow, a little hampered still, but I think he was full speed this last week and has a chance to be a very good player for us.
Coach, how do you get over the top? You mentioned Oklahoma State making the plays in the second half that y'all didn't. Is there a way as a coach to get that started, to get over the top?
You just have to do it, until they feel that, until they've had that sensation, I guess. It's nothing you can coach out of them, I don't think. We just have to do it. We've had a couple opportunities this year to win games late and haven't done it against highly ranked teams, and so it's something we got to keep working on and find ways to do it at the end.
Your guys on the outside didn't have very many catches last week. Do you think that was more of Oklahoma State's coverage trying to take that away, or do you think it was a combination of what do you kind of think that was?
Yeah, we got to get better outside, really. They have a good secondary, they have good corners, but we took some shots and didn't make plays on footballs, and we have to improve outside at outside receiver. It's kind of come back to bite us again, and so that's something over the last 3 weeks. I know we're going to see a lot of press man coverage down on our face and challenge those guys, and those guys got to step up and make plays.
Kliff, is Devin okay physically?
Yes, sir.
And what do you attribute his lack of impact to this year relative to the second half last year?
Yeah, I think he's got to grow up. He's got to practice better, got to be more consistent. Same things continue to show up on game day, and he's got to get better. We're depending on him to be a better player, and I think got to mature on and off the field.
What did you tell him about those unsportsmanlike conduct penalties? Did you talk to him about it?
Yeah, it was private conversation, and that's been handled.
Coach, you spent a couple of years with him now. What is it, in your opinion, that makes Jakeem the player that he is?
I think this year is by far the most mature he's been on and off the field. The way he practices, the way he handles himself in the classroom. He's just grown up each year we've been here, and he's the most difficult to tackle in space I've ever been around. I mean, the first guy's never going to make a miss. He's so quick, and then he's really added the physicality to his game when it comes to blocking the run game. So he's just a special talent, works hard, good kid. Really proud of him.
Is there like a never-ending chip on his shoulder? Like, is that consistent for
I think so. I think he's always, if you asked him, he's 10 feet tall, and that's the way he carries himself, and that's the way he acts around the locker room, and just a special young man.
The 90-yard plays, that kind of how you guys drew it up?
Yeah, exactly. Just throw it out there, let him cut back about 5 times, and let him go. He can do that anytime he touches the ball, and that's what we try to do is find ways to get him ball in space.
You see him playing on Sundays?
I think he'll get an opportunity. There's been some guys before him of similar stature, so I think he's that dynamic. If he continues to work at his craft, that he'll definitely have an opportunity.
This week you go up against West Virginia team that obviously in the standings has struggled, but on the field has been pretty good. What do you attribute that to?
They've played very good teams in this stretch. I think the same losses we have are the ones they have against highly ranked teams. They're a good football team, very good defensively, senior-laden group. They're at linebackers. And then offensively, I think Dana's done a good job adjusting to his personnel, running the ball more. They have a great running back. They have a quarterback they can run around. So it's a very good football team. It's just they ran up against some very good competition as well.
Do you think part of that too has been them losing Carl Joseph for the year from safety?
Yeah, he's a game changer. There's no doubt. I think they're still very good defensively, but he's a guy you really can't replace because of his talent, and he'll be playing on Sundays.
Coach, you guys now have the second and third highest scoring totals to still lose an FBS game this year. Do you feel like just the way that the defense is playing, and I know turnovers have played into the defense being put in bad positions, but do you feel like you have to post almost 60 points a game just to get up there with the wins sometimes?
No, I really, more than anything, I think this is how the league's set up. You know, you look over the history of the last 3, 4, 5 years, all those elite teams have had those games where you shoot out and you just got to outscore them. It's how the offenses are very good and kind of how it's set up. So I don't ever think there's a certain number. I always look at it from the offensive side. Should have scored here or should have scored there. The defense on Saturday in the third quarter gave us, I think, 3 times in a row the ball back to go up 17, and we didn't go do it. So that's I look at that more than anything else.
If the touchdown that you guys made at 56 to 51, you wound up 1-2, but you had to take the time out in between. It looked like you had some kicking team members coming on. Can you kind of go through that sequence of what happened and what you wanted to have happen?
Yeah, you know, there's 2 schools of thought on it, and we thought about kicking it, and you know, the amount of time was kind of right on that fringe where you're chasing it or not chasing it, and decided not to, and ended up going for it and getting it.
So you made that decision in that moment versus as the drive was progressing?
Yeah, we had kind of changed our mind and decided that was probably the way things were going, our best bet.
Was there any thought about an onside kick after that?
No, not with that much time left. We felt like we could get it back plenty of time, and as fast as we can go. We don't need much.
West Virginia's third in conference in rushing offense. What makes them so prolific on the ground?
You know, a great back, very physical offensive line, and they've really taken the approach that they're going to run it. They force some runs in there. They run the ball on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and you can tell that's the mentality this year, is a physical team that's going to run the ball no matter how many guys you have in the box, and they've gotten good at it.
Coach Gibbs has continually said that if he was an offensive coordinator on the other sideline, he'd just line it up and run it against your defense. Is that kind of what you expect from them?
I think that's what, you know, they've shown this year, and we've had struggles against the run. I thought last week our run defense was pretty good, but throughout the year we've definitely struggled in that area.
Got off to a quick start last week. Was something changing maybe intangibly that you noticed, or were there just things there to take advantage of?
No, I think that guys just came out and played well from the beginning. With the exception of those 2 games in a row, Kansas and Oklahoma, I think we started fast in all of them, and so we just got back to what we do and came out and executed at a high level early on and didn't wait around.
What kind of challenge is it when you have the first quarter like you did and trying to impress upon those guys that are still 3/4 of the ball game left to play?
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be hard. I think more than anything, like we talked about earlier, it's just getting over that hump of, all right, now let's finish. But our guys were into it. They were locked in, and even the second half thought they had good energy. We just didn't make the plays we needed to make.
Any special preparations this week because of the extra long trip to West Virginia?
No, we'll leave a little bit earlier, but other than that, that's about it.
Aside from the disappointment of losing those games, these situations going to pay off down the road? Are you glad to see some of the things from your team, again, intangibly, that maybe you do even in a loss?
You know, I hate to lose, but I think you have a young quarterback that's seeing a lot of different things and been through a lot, and that knowing from experience, that definitely is going to pay off down the road.
What was Keelan McElroy out there?
He went to see his father, who's not doing well.
Henderson Mike, what is his status, and to what extent is his absence affecting him?
It obviously, a couple times in that game, we had some miscues on the punt team, but for the most part, I think Barnes handled himself well. I think Taylor hopefully will be back this week.
Is that something, did he aggravate that hamstring at some point, or is it something that it happened 6 weeks ago and it's just continued?
Yeah, just continually kind of nagged with him, different parts of that kicking leg.
And Baylor, what's your expectation for him this week?
We're going to get him out there today and see. He won't practice the first couple of days this week, but we're going to run him, see how he holds up, and if not this week, I would say definitely for Kansas State.
Take one more question.
Coach, what's your message to your quarterback, just to make sure that it seems like in games he starts to press a little bit as the defense struggles, what's your message to him to make sure he just doesn't do too much here late in games?
Yeah, just stay within yourself. He's a competitor, and he wants to win it, and that's comes with growing up in that position. He still hadn't started that many games, and he'll grow out of that where he's trying to do it all the time. But I've been proud of the way he's battled. He's fought in every game till the end, and that's all you can ask.